Located in historic Ybor City, La Gaceta has proudly been reporting the news in the Tampa Bay area for over 100 years. La Gaceta has established itself as a trusted source of news, offering readers a unique perspective on local, national, and international issues. Patrick Manteiga, the grandson of the creator of La Gaceta, Victor Manteiga, now runs the iconic treasure of Hillsborough County.
Patrick, 100 years of La Gaceta. How did it get started?
Well, I got started with my grandfather. He came to America in Tampa in 1913.
Yeah.
Came here to be a lector in the cigar factory at the Morgan Cigar Factory on Howard and at the interstate. The building's still standing. And he started to read to the cigar workers. That was his job, and they would pay him out of their own paychecks. And so he would read the news, he would read novels to them. And so after a while, he started to also write for another newspaper.
Right.
And then in 1922, he started his own newspaper. I think it was a natural progression to go from reading the news in the confines of a brick factory to now expanding your voice outside of that factory through print media. And it started off as a Spanish daily, Spanish only. So he wrote about local news and also news about Spain and Cuba.
But I mean, it has evolved over the years, and so now it's trilingual. How did that come about?
Well, you don't survive 100 years without doing some evolution. After World War II, when the Latinos come back from war, they now were fully immersed in English language. They also had decided after going through that they didn't want to live with grandma and dad and mom in the house in Ybor City. They wanted to move out to the suburbs. And they also wanted to move forward and be more American. And so this new generation, we had to start talking to them in a language they understood. And so we had to go with English and add that. And then we added Italian because the Italian community came to us and they were losing their heritage, their history. Because in the cigar factories they had to learn Spanish, their kids in school had to learn English, and the Italian language was lost to them. And so we started to run Italian to help them keep their language. You know, La Gaceta is a business, but it really is a Tampa story.
Yeah.
You know, we are the oldest, second oldest minority-owned newspaper in America. We are the oldest Hispanic-owned newspaper in America. And we're the only trilingual newspaper in America. And it's here in Tampa. It isn't in New York, Los Angeles, one of these big cities. It's in Tampa, and that's what makes us unique.
Yeah.
Is the La Gacetas of the world of Tampa, the Central Asturianos, the Circular Cubanos, you know, the Columbia restaurants. We have these things here, and nobody else has them.
My mom grew up in Ybor City. My grandmother was a cigar roller. You know, she talked to me about the lectores. And so I just think that there is unique, and La Gaceta kind of captures that. So I think when you get to read that every week, you get a little bit of that history, and it keeps you connected. So it's all the different cultures here, and I think that's what makes La Gaceta unique. It's not just that it's, you know, news and politics, but it also has that cultural heritage to it. I love it. I read it every week, and so thank you for that.
We had a, talking about staying connected, we just had a woman call us the other day, and her son was going to live in Europe, and she wanted to send a La Gaceta to him every week because she wanted him to stay connected to home. And so we have subscribers in 44 different states. People have moved away, but they still want to keep a little bit of Tampa with them. And so you get that. And during one of our film debuts at Tampa Theater, I had a gentleman come up and told me his family had been subscribing for 60 years. You know, that's amazing.
It's incredible. Let's walk around and kind of walk me through some of the memories here.
Absolutely. So this is photos, infamous or famous, depending on your point of view.
on your stance here.
So we have Roland, my father, meeting Jimmy Carter, my father and Lawton Childs. Childs and my father were good friends. Childs actually gave the eulogy at my father's funeral. We have my dad here and a young Dolly Parton. She was playing in Tampa at the time. And Doc Castellano, the gentleman standing, asked Ron to come over and interview her because he thought she was going to be a big star one day.
He knew it.
My grandfather and Ruben Askew, our governor, at our office. Here you have my dad and Jimmy Carter. This is at the table at La Tropicana.
Yeah, the Tropicana table.
So we kept that going. So you have me here with Governor Charlie Crist at the Tropicana table, Obama at the Cuban Club. This is my father and John F. Kennedy and President Kennedy, and this is Gibbons introducing them. And this is a few days before the assassination.
Wow.
This is my father and
Such
Lyndon
history.
Johnson. This is Lady Bird. This is at the White House. My grandfather and Hubert Humphrey, and my father and Edward Kennedy. This is my grandfather and Fidel Castro. This is Cash being raised in Tampa in 1956 for the revolution to overthrow Batista. A very young Lawton Childs. We were the first newspaper to endorse Lawton in his walk across Florida.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Walking Lawton.
Yeah, this is myself and Fidel Castro. He's autographing this picture and telling me about my grandfather. Here we have Bill Clinton, Mayor Friedman, Arthenia Joyner, my father.
Such history.
That's good history.
Such history. It's amazing. I mean, the 100 years, all the stories you've covered. I mean, I can't imagine Tampa without La Gaceta. I can't imagine this community without La Gaceta.
And I can't imagine us without Tampa.
La Gaceta is a political, cultural, and historical gem, and there's nothing like the feel of a real newspaper. Now go out and explore the borough.